The hardest part for me is getting the mindset going. I have really low confidence to begin with, so I have to feel confident in the sense that I can actually do this, that I can actually win. My name's Leila Jakubinek. I'm 29 years old and I compete in Muay Thai kickboxing. My younger brother did karate and I always wanted to do kickboxing, but my parents didn't know where to send me, so that never ended up happening. After doing after doing Ultimate Frisbee for 8 years, I'm like, okay, time to do a sport that I want to do. And so I was actually originally looking into boxing when my friend, she recommended that I try Muay Thai because I can throw knees and elbows, and I was like, okay, let's give that a shot. I went to my first class. I think I sat in the parking lot for a good half hour before going into my first class because I was that nervous, and I almost turned around and drove home because I didn't bring a friend with me. I was doing it all solo. And after the first class, I loved it. It was hard and unbelievably hard, but I enjoyed it so much. Had the mentality, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sign up for 6 months, and if I go 3 days a week, I'm getting my money's worth. And then 3 days turned into 4 days, and then 5 days, and then multiple classes in a day. And eventually I was like, maybe I can compete. That could be fun, we'll see. And then slowly started going to sparring, and then it just grew. And that's kind of how I stuck to it, and then I just kind of wanted to do the next thing possible every time. So that's kind of how that came about and what keeps me going, because I want to do the next thing. I want to see as far as I can go while I can go.
I'm always going to train like the camera's on. I had a camera here every day.
Live at Lansdowne was a rematch against a woman that I fought a year prior. The first time we fought, it was a demo, so this would have been a real sanctioned fight, full contact. This is going to be my 5th sanctioned fight, so this is like my 5th real fight. Big fight.
10 seconds! Every 10 seconds counts! Go!
So probably tomorrow, and if I'm coming in Wednesday, it's mostly just to shadow box and just keep my brain in the game. But one actual like hitting pads, and then that's it, I think. Unless Crew Jeff tells me something else, which is very likely. But right now, one more time. The hardest part for me is getting the mindset going. I have really low confidence to begin with, so I have to feel confident in the sense that I can actually do this, that I can actually win. And that for me is a big part of it, is turning my brain on into that portion. Not so much the training, it's more of the mindset for me. That's my hardest part. So now it's at tapering. So last week was the beginning of hell week, essentially, where I trained twice a day, trained hard, trained with intensity. I believe today was actually my last hard session. I think tomorrow I'm gonna hit pads once, and then after that, just chill until the fight day in a couple of days. Get my pre-fight pedicures. I pamper myself, and then I kick them with pretty toes.
Capital Combat Parlay here at Live at Lansdowne 3 with Leila Jakubinek Leila, I know it's unfortunate you're not fighting tonight. Tell us how you're feeling and walk us through what happened.
I'm feeling a little devastated, I'm not gonna lie. I did a fight camp, and to have it not pan out, it's kind of sucky, but my teammates put in a lot of work, and they've worked with me during my fight camp, so I'm gonna be there to support them even if I'm not fighting.
You're ready to fight?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still train as if I'm going to fight anytime.
She's ready, folks. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you, Lewis.
So when I found out it was canceled, my first thought was, oh no, not again, because I had a fight canceled for a Live at Lansdowne back 6 months prior. So my first reaction was just pure disappointment. It is really hard for me to find fights, especially finding fights here in Ottawa. So most of my fights have actually been out of town, so being able to fight in front of my friends and family and actually have them watch it was going to be exciting. And it was a lot of hard work, and I did the full fight camp just to find out 3 days beforehand that my opponent pulled out. You do the hard work, you do the fight camp, and then for what? So you kind of have that like anticlimactic, but yeah, definitely a letdown, but I still went to the show anyways to support my friends, and it was a good show, but it's always a letdown when opponents back out at the last minute.
Got this, girl. Yeah. You got this. You're gonna crush this, dude. I'll be cheering.
It's always disappointing when the female fights fall through, mostly because usually in a fight show, there might only be 1 or 2 fights, and women fights are awesome to watch, and it's kind of cool to be part of a fight show and show that we can do this and that we're awesome to watch. So having it going down to like no fights or only 1 fight, it's just like, oh, that's unfortunate. Like I wish there'd be more female fights. So it's always a little bit of a letdown. Muay Thai has been a game changer for me. I have actually lost probably about 80 pounds-ish since starting Muay Thai. But that wasn't an intentional thing. That was just through training multiple times throughout the day, pushing my limits and realizing what I can and can't do, and realizing I can do more than I can. I'm also a person who hates running, and now I'm able to go for 5K runs and not dread my life doing that. But mentally, it's given me that push, that drive. I now can actually identify myself as an athlete versus before I never thought of myself as an athlete and never thought that was something that's possible. So it gave me kind of more of a confidence booster than I've ever had before. Like when I started, I did not think I was gonna fight. I did it just for like a workout, and also because there weren't many women in the class at the time. There was maybe 3 other women in a 30-person class maybe. None of them were my size. None of them were like, looked like me or like acted like me. So I was like, okay, I guess there's not many larger women. Also, if you look on TV, you don't see many larger women fighting. It's usually women who are like 115 pounds, which was not me at that time. So I definitely did not think that was something. I talked to someone about the potential of me fighting, just like a little offhanded comment, and they actually laughed back in the day. So like, never thought that would be possible. It devastated me, but it also wasn't surprising because I thought that myself. I laughed at that thought myself. So having someone else, it sucked having someone else confirm that thought, but I thought negatively on my own, and it wasn't until I slowly built my confidence that I thought, I'm like, yeah, no, you know what? I'm gonna try to fight. I'm gonna try to do this. It pushed me a lot more. It definitely pushed me to like prove everyone wrong a little bit.
Ooh, better? Because like you could go all the way to the elbow.
I feel like then I wouldn't have enough.
You would have a headlock, but like,
I can't. Is that okay? Is that legal?
that's a thing.
That's a
It's
thing?
gonna make it harder. Like
It's harder to.
I find this
part-
is the right length to me
It
to
felt
hit.
good. Taylor McClatchy's been my mentor pretty much since day one with New Era, I would say. Beforehand, I knew her as like this crazy, amazing female athlete, and it was inspiring. I did one of her classes and it was great, and it just made me realize that like, yes, you can, like females can actually do this. Like she had a crazy record and everything like that. So then once I switched over to New Era and started training regularly with Taylor, it was great because she would answer any questions I had about anything. She would hold pads for me. She would give me technique advice, and like if I was upset after a hard training session, she would help me be like, nope, that's normal.
Yeah, it's because you just soccer kicked the ankly cat.
It's clearly not working.
And having someone like that has been incredible to like kind of show you the ropes and like lead the way. So without Taylor, it would be hard because there's not many females there. So having a female who with that much experience kind of showing you what to do, it was a game changer. And having her as a friend has been fantastic. So the lead up to SHEfights was a little bit different than live at Lansdowne, partially because I knew I had a full fight camp. I knew almost 2 months ahead of time that I'd be rematching my opponent, Caroline. I knew how I lost to her the first time, and I knew what I needed to work on. So I was able to really focus on that versus live at Lansdowne. That fight got confirmed maybe a few weeks before it was supposed to happen. But SHEfights, I had a full fight camp. I knew what to do, and I knew I wanted to redeem myself for that split decision loss the first time around.
Being surrounded by all these different females is fantastic, and especially females of this high caliber like Regan, like Taylor, even Natalie. She has, I think, like over 10 fights under her belt and stuff like that. It's fantastic. It gives you like that extra motivational push, and we have each other's back. It's like a sense of community in that case.
You can do anything, Leila. Let's go. All the way. Look at you go.
Having Taylor, Regan, and Natalie part of that training session made the world of difference. Both Taylor and Regan were getting ready for Pan Ams. Natalie was supposed to fight at SHEfights. And having that bond just felt great. And we have that bond outside of the gym too. We have our friendship there, and just being able to grind through that with the three of them just felt awesome.
Natalie and Leila are off this weekend to go fight, guys. At SHEfights, all-female card, which is kind of cool. They do that once a year. So good luck to you guys. Make sure you help them train hard, guys.
So for this fight, the thing that's keeping me going is like the last time I fought her, I barely lost. So this time I've had 10 months to get better. I've had more training, I've trained harder, I've done more. So that's what's keeping me going.
Oh, yes, that's where you are. Okay.
Excited, a little nervous, but mostly excited. I'm really excited to do this. I'm gonna go back to the hotel, eat some food, and just have some like downtime to like just be chill. And yeah, that's about it. And then come back and kick some ass.
My opponent, I fought her a year previously, and she had double my experience, was considerably taller than I was, and I was terrified because she had double my experience, and I actually jumped up a fight class to rematch her. So I jumped up to A class to fight her again, even though she had so much more experience than I did. Going into this fight, I expected to win. I wanted that win. I did not picture myself losing. Don't get me wrong, I was terrified going into this fight because I wanted to win so badly. I didn't want to lose in this fight. The win was amazing, and that win, I think, was probably my first win where I felt like I busted my butt to get that win. Actually, when I went back to my corner, Crew Jeff was like, "Congratulations on your first big win," because winning that was just an accomplishment to myself, and fighting someone who has that much more experience and winning felt fantastic. I was so proud of myself. I was proud of the accomplishment. I worked hard for that fight camp, and to have that pay off, it just felt so amazing. It's in my top 5 moments of my life, that win. You can do this. Doesn't matter how big you are, how old you are, or anything like that. Just keep working towards it. Your hard work all pays off in the end, and it'll be fun. You don't have to compete. It can be a fight with yourself, or it can be a fight in the ring against an opponent. You can do it. That's what I would say. It's just like, you can do it. Don't be afraid. Or be afraid and still do it.